No daily deal for Groupon. Let's talk to Megan McCarthy. She's our deputy tech editor. All right, Megan, Groupon down nearly 7% today. This is after the stock spiked on Friday with these rumors that perhaps Google was going to buy Groupon.
Right. Those rumors, I do not think they're actually going to happen, and I think the market is sort of realizing that they were just rumors. There are several reasons for this. Back in 2010, when there was much more news about Google possibly buying Groupon, back when Groupon was a private company.
Right. For $6 billion.
For $6 billion.
Yeah.
And now the market value is about $3 billion or so it's almost like half off. You would think that Groupon might actually want to take the deal.
Yeah.
But also back then you had Eric Schmidt as the CEO, and now you have Larry Page.
Right.
And I just personally don't see him as being as enamored with this acquisition as perhaps Eric Schmidt was back when it was a private company.
Even though Google has Google Offers, which you would think might be right in line with the Groupon business.
It might be right in line with it, but I don't necessarily think that that Google likes to they like to grow more organically than actually just acquiring, because Groupon comes with a lot of people, a lot of infrastructure already in place. I think
Salesforce.
Exactly.
Large subscriber base, yeah.
Large subscriber base, but also you have a lot of Salesforce, as you've mentioned, but I think, just for me, I don't think that Google is really that enamored with Groupon.
Just very quickly, another reason that you think the stock's going down today?
Yeah, there was so T. Rowe Price actually has sold about 75% of their holdings in Groupon today. There was an SEC filing, and they're down to they own about 2% of the company.
Okay.
So I think that's probably also having the fact that news came out today is also having an effect on Groupon's pricing.
Okay, going in the opposite direction, HP
is going up.
They're up 4% today. Twitterverse totally abuzz with rumors about Carl Icahn, who does this time and time again, as we see.
Yes, Carl Icahn, the famous investor, possibly coming into HP. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but people on Twitter are definitely talking about it.
And this is, of course, HP's stock was down at a 10-year low in November after they had that huge, over $8 billion write-down for the autonomy purchase, and then the accounting blip,
yes,
more
exactly.
than a blip that came down with autonomy.
Yeah, exactly. And the autonomy deal is just looking worse and worse. Today, Michael Dell from Dell Computers came out with and said that he had actually taken a look at the autonomy back before, when they were shopping it around, decided to pass. And you would think that that would actually have a negative impact on HP's stock, but it just hasn't. Today, I think the rumors are just floating it up.
Icahn's trumped it.
There we go.
All right, Megan McCarthy, thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Let's take a look at the broader markets and see what they're doing. And we've got some green arrows there. We've got Cisco, which was up about 2%. That's helping out the NASDAQ. We had good same-store sales from McDonald's helping out the Dow there. We know that President Obama met with John Boehner yesterday, and today he's going to be speaking at about 2 p.m., so perhaps we'll get an update on the fiscal cliff talks then. I'm going to move to the hot spot. And as I do, remember, we've got those snaps at the bottom of the screen for more headlines of the day. He magically appears, Ernie Scheider, Reuters correspondent. Hello, Ernie. Let's talk some Ingersoll Rand. This is a very broad business, everything from golf carts to locks, heating and cooling, spinning off its security division. But the real story here behind this is from icon to activist investor Nelson Peltz.
Yes, Peltz have been agitating for a while because he thinks that Ingersoll Rand shares are undervalued. And so he thinks that by spinning off some parts of the business, they could unlock value. So today they're announcing that they're selling their security business, which makes locks, steel doors, sort of other products related to that industry. So consumers recognize Kryptonite, Sludge. These are really popular lock names. They'll go into a company with an annual revenue of about $2 billion, so pretty sizable in its own right, and that'll help Ingersoll Rand further focus its R&D budget and other capital expenditures on its existing core product offerings.
Okay, so Peltz has been on the board since August, and there's talk that he's really wanted to break this company up potentially into 3 public companies, the AC and the cooling unit, the security business, and then their other manufactured goods.
Yes, AC and cooling is considered a huge growth area for them, but this sort of trend to break up large conglomerates into smaller pieces is relatively new. We're seeing it lately in the energy space, but in the 1990s and 2000s, it had been the opposite trend, put everything together, buy everything, put it into one big package. You saw this a lot with General Electric being kind of a key example. Now it's the opposite, spread it apart, unlock shareholder value, see how much money you can make when you send a lot of these smaller units out into the world by themselves.
All right. Ernie, let's move on to Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Taxpayers helped, of course, bail out these companies, and the government took over to the tune of something like $190 billion. So now this report from the Inspector General of FHFA, Federal Housing and Finance Agency, looking at the next year down from executives, showing how much money the senior management makes, and it's pretty huge.
Yes, it's a lot of money right there, and I think a lot of the average Americans are saying, geez, you know, the average pay there among the second tier of executives around $300,000-$400,000 is, you know, not what I'm making, and so I think a lot of people are sort of scrutinizing that, and rightfully so, because the government basically controls these two companies right now. So I suspect this will increase the level of scrutiny further down the organizational chart. The flip side, some might say, is that this will cause a lot more executives to go into the private sector, into elsewhere. So I think there's a fine line that they're going to have to balance, but the optics definitely don't look good.
Making more than pretty much all other government workers, including those at the Federal Reserve. When you look at the 333 VPs, median pay at $388,000 a year.
Exactly, much more than members of Congress.
Yeah,
so.
That's right. All right, Ernie Scheider, thank you so much.
Sure thing.
I get all choked up when I see you. All right. Remember, folks, follow us on Twitter at Reuters Insider and check out our YouTube channel, Reuters.com/ReutersTV. I'm Lisa Bernhard. This is Reuters.